Weird.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you know what it is. It's Monday night. That means it's time for the Urban Conservative Podcast. We're talking about how we're going to save America's youth with Omar Harris. The Urban Conservative Podcast starts right around now.
Hey, buddy, do you like NASCAR? Do you like a Tribe Called Quest? Well, you gonna love the Urban Conservative.
Do you like manwich and nachos? Well, then you'd love the Urban Conservative.
Do you like guns? Do you like butter? Well, you're gonna love the Urban Conservative.
Welcome to the Urban Conservative Podcast, where we do not believe that avocado toast can save the planet or the world will end, because cars use gasoline. You won't hear that Wi-Fi is a basic human right, or that billionaires are secretly supervillains. Here, we do not believe that electric cars run on hopes and dreams. You also won't hear that anyone who disagrees with us is a fascist, or that socialism will make everyone rich. You won't be gender affirmed or offered any opportunity to share your preferred pronouns. If this causes you any discomfort, please rest assured that we couldn't possibly care less. For everyone else, thank you, and please stand by.
My fellow Americans, it's time for the Urban Conservative Podcast. This is without a doubt the best podcast on the internet. It's about to go down here on the Urban Conservative.
3, 2, 1.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you know what it is. It's a Monday night. We both was about to do the intro.
It'd be like that sometimes.
Hey, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for rocking out with us each and every Monday night right here on the Urban Conservative Podcast. Yours truly, Abdul Ali. That guy over there is my twin brother, Raheem, Architect Soto. We are on a mission to share conservative values and principles, as well as the benefits of conservative policies to urban communities across this great nation of ours. We do that via this podcast. We also be out in them streets doing live events, doing voter education, issue-based education. We need your support to keep doing the thing that we do. The website, as you see scrolling across the bottom of your screen, tuconservative.com is where you can go to support. Make sure you give this video a like, share, you follow, subscribe, hit that notification bell on YouTube, all that good stuff. Before we jump in,
do we plug?
I was gonna say,
also, reminder, always get in the comment section and let us know where you're watching from. That's important so we know where the eyeballs is at. But go ahead, what was you about to do? Do what you about to do.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to kick off the plug session real quick. I have to let you know that my twin brother, my brother from the same mother, is running for Suffolk County Legislative District 2. And as such, he has launched his website today, Soto for Suffolk, SOTOFOR Suffolk.com. That is the website. If you are in Suffolk County, you live in New York, really it doesn't matter where you live. It's time to make sure we have good, solid representation at every level of government. My brother's running to represent the county that he lives in, the county that he loves, that he's been in for over 2 decades, a little over 2 decades now. I am going to tell you this. There is someone in that seat right now who is not fully representing the people of that district when it comes to affordable housing, when it comes to safety in the community, when it comes to making sure that resources are brought back to the 2nd Legislative District of the Suffolk County Commission. So make sure if you live in, near, or around Legislative District 2, you're out in Suffolk County, in New York, and across the country, support my twin brother. Visit sotoforsuffolk.com. Now, I do have to say
hit the
this.
donate button. Wait, go ahead. Go ahead. Do what you do.
I was gonna Dr. Umar.
Okay. Umar it.
Make sure you hit the donations. All right. He needs donations. Make sure you hit the cash. Well, listen, the only other thing I was going to say about this, and this is why we're so glad that we have such a vibrant and engaged audience, is because the Urban Conservative, we're not just talking heads that get on here every week and post. We're physically part of the process. We're engaged in the system. So your support of this podcast, your support of my twin brothers run for Suffolk County Legislative District 2 is very important. So with that said,
so one thing I want to add to that, one thing, because you touched on it a little bit. So for those who don't know, we do a lot more, like my brother said, than this podcast. I'm a journalist. I'm a policy analyst. We've made policy recommendations over the last, 8-10 years that have turned into legislation, that have turned into things that have benefited both where he is and where I am in here in New York. So I don't want y'all to think that this is just, just talking heads, but let's get into the show. Enough plugging away.
Right.
Appreciate the support, y'all. We got some viewers in. Go ahead. Do your intro. Let me get some of these comments up.
I know y'all are seeing the title of tonight's show, Saving America's Youth. How do we save America's young people? And to that end, we have a very special guest, good brother. His first time we talking about, he's a father, a businessman, a combat veteran. He served 6 years in the North Carolina National Guard, originally from Petersburg, Virginia, the father of 2 boys who actually attend the public school system. So he has a vested interest in ensuring that we are providing the best possible education, not just for his babies, but for all of the children, not just here in Mecklenburg, but across the country. For the first time on the Urban Conservative, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Omar Harris to the show, brother. Omar, how you doing, man?
Yo, what up? Thanks for having me on. I appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Absolutely, brother. Well, thank you for coming in. We appreciate you, man. First and foremost, fellow veteran. So thank you for your service to this country, brother. We really appreciate that. And shouts out to all the veterans. We're going to have a very robust discussion about your work and what you're doing to help save America's children. But let's start at the very beginning, bro. I mentioned that you grew up in Virginia. So for the folks that are watching, who's Omar Harris? Where you come from? Give us the backstory.
I'm originally born in Petersburg, Virginia, but graduated from Colonial Heights High School. So from Colonial Heights / Petersburg, Virginia. Have my wife, Brittany. She's been with me since 15 years old. She said I was the greatest man she ever met, which I can't really, argue with that. So she just been around. She's stuck with me, right? So I got 2 boys, 14, Coley, 12, Riley. Let's see. I went to East Carolina University, graduated with a bachelor's degree in business management. Combat vet, Purple Heart veteran. Most of my career has been in supply chain management. So that's just a nutshell.
So what I know what made me join the service. What pushed you to join the military?
My sophomore year at ECU, I was out of state and I had to pay for them student loans. And I did the math and I was going to be like 50,000, so I can't do it. So I mean, business really, and to serve the country.
Okay.
And to serve the country, of course. But yeah, that was the main factor. So,
well, and we're going to talk a little bit about how you see the military should be a viable option for young people, especially young people that have a lack of discipline. We're going to call that. So let's. I want to go back here because the work you do now and mentoring children and helping children and wanting to see young people successful. What do you think is the real impetus for you getting involved in that kind of work?
I saw kids killing each other, about 2 years ago. And I've been talking about it with friends, having discussions. And then I noticed no one was, I was waiting on someone else to fix it and it wasn't happening. So I said, I need to get in there and see what's going on. And I need to save these kids one by one. So that was my biggest push, just seeing everything in the news and seeing these kids struggle firsthand.
Wow. So one thing we like to do is deal with the facts here. And as I looked this up as we began to get ready for the show, it says behavioral incidents in schools, including classroom disruptions, disrespectful behavior, rowdiness, fights are on the rise, and many educators citing student behavior as a top concern, particularly after the pandemic. So the question for you is like, did you grow up in a way, would you consider your growing up disadvantaged, if you will? Give us that backdrop.
Disadvantaged probably until I was, 12 years old. I grew up in Section 8 housing, mom with disabilities. So she was on a fixed income and stuff like that. I've seen a lot of different tragedies coming up. I've seen my uncle get shot by the police. He had a mental health breakdown. right in front of me when I was 10 years old. So, seeing, drug dealers beating up each other in Petersburg and stuff like that. So, I mean, I would say yes, I've had, somewhat of a disadvantaged upbringing. But I did, 12 years old, I went to Colonial Heights high school and stuff, man, and I had so much support there. You know what I mean? So it'd be hard for me to say it's truly the entire time. It was probably about half of my childhood, I'd say it was truly disadvantaged.
So we got a similar story in some of that, and I think one of the things we talk about how we are saving America's youth, what we want to try to get to, and I know the violence is one side of it, and seeing the young people dealing with the crime. As someone that's run for school board, which I didn't mention at the outset, I wanted to kind of roll into that. Do you think that from the work you've been doing the last few years, and I'm not going to lay this at the feet of teachers, but do you think the administration, the school board administrations, et cetera, are doing enough to really help the most at-risk children in the system?
Honestly, with the amount of resources they have, from seeing they're doing about as much as they can, to be honest with you. You probably need to make it a jail. You know what I mean? It's almost, the schools are almost getting there. If you do any more, it's going to be like prison, which kind of getting that way. I mean, it's a society issue, it's poverty, it's lack of hope, But I mean, could the administration be doing more? Absolutely. But I'm not sure how much more they can do to stop kids from fighting each other. It's going to take a community, really.
How much of this do you think the issue we're talking about right here, because the standards for teachers to hire these teachers have been lowered. But at the same time, we have a generation of children who are being born to children, right? Like some of these parents are just absolutely, still they're 24, they're 25, and they still want to just live their life, and they don't really have what we had in, parents. Like with some of our folks had like in actual parents in their 30s, 40s, well-adjusted. How much of that do you think plays a role in this? Because we can lay it some on the, the education system. How much of that do you think starts with these parents?
Quite a bit, especially with the change in technology. Like parenting is completely different. It's not what it was 10 years ago. So a lot of these parents are having trouble, like in general, just keeping up with these kids. These kids are smart asses. You know what I mean? And they're actually smart. They're like, I'm not saying actually smart, like they're witty and smart. So I mean, just dealing with these kids, it's tough. Because if you're too hard on them, they shut down. But if you're too soft on them, they are yap and try to overrun you. So I mean, really, honestly, it's a single mom like crisis right now. You know what I mean? Like a teenage boy, a single mom is not equipped right now in our current state to raise a teenage boy. It's
yes,
not.
Single mom now is not the same thing as a single mom in 1977 or 1970 or 1985. It's definitely not the same thing. Go ahead, Ali. I'm sorry.
So when we talk about this, and I want to get to some of the work that you've been doing and some of the things that you've been involved with. When we met for coffee, when I first met you, shouts out to JJ, to the homeboy. One of the things that really impressed me about your story was what you did to get involved with this work. And I think it's important for people to know. So give people the drop. You saw this happening, and what did you decide to do? And I don't want to ruin it. So you tell the folks what you did to get involved with helping the young folks.
Yeah, so I took a radical approach, drained my savings, drained my 401ks, and left my corporate America job and just got involved. Like I started with like the superintendent's family, as a family group. I got involved with ALP, Augustine Literacy Project. I started mentoring kids. Like I just left my corporate job and just went into it.
That's a major. I don't want to undervalue how important that is, because in order to really address the issue, it's going to take people that have that level of a radical approach, that are willing to put everything down, safety, security, etc., to help these young folks. Ladies and gentlemen, we are talking with education advocate here in Charlotte, North Carolina, Omar Harris. We're going to take a very, very brief commercial break. We're going to come right back and talk a little bit more about the work he's doing with ALP and some more. Y'all don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on The Urban Conservative. The Urban Conservative is sponsored in part by Gyra Family Farms, providing your family with fresh meat, eggs, poultry, produce, and so much more. Visit gyrafamilyfarm.net to find out about their summer farm camp program, events and classes, and their exclusive Farm Share membership, which will give you 15% off all your purchases. Again, visit gyrafamilyfarm.net to find out more. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you're back on the Urban Conservative Podcast. Got to give a big shout out to Emmanuel and Valerie up there at Gyra Family Farms in Durham, North Carolina. Thank you for the support. And if you're up in the Durham area, make sure you get you some eggs and fresh yard bird, he likes to call it. I want to go back real quick, Omar, because I know what I missed about the military, and I'd be remiss if I didn't ask this. What do you miss most about the military?
About the military, probably the openness about it. Like I can just express myself. And usually that's, it's kind of rough and aggressive, but we all understood. You know what I mean? Like I have to censor myself a lot. Not like I'm, angry or stuff like that, but I can fully express myself. And we had this shared experiences because we all went through boot camp. We all went through AIT. We all did specialized training. So we had that camaraderie. I knew I could just communicate with them just easily.
Nice. I found the same thing. Yeah, you got it, bro.
So and I know he keeps saying to go back, but one thing I wanted to ask you about this behavioral issue that we see so much of, and not that we're trying to diagnose anyone with anything here, but how much of this do you think that the music, the content that these kids are consuming plays a part? Because I just did a story the other day on the platform about a group of guys out in California getting arrested. And how much of a role do you think the influence from what we now know as hip hop, what they call hip hop today, that industry is influencing these young people?
It really affects most the ones that are susceptible. The ones that are say like, you got to learn with these kids. You got to learn what a YN is and a crash out. So it's the kids that are susceptible to doing these things based on their trauma are the ones that are getting in the mood, you know what I mean? For say drills, drive-bys, or shootings with music, you know what I mean? It's hyping them up and stuff like that. But for the average kid, does it affect them? Absolutely. But listen to hardcore gangster rap. Is it going to make them get a gun and go shoot somebody? Probably not.
No less than a movie would, right? Like you're gonna watch Terminator, and now we went and bought a chainsaw machine gun, and right.
So Omar, I'm gonna drill in a little bit more to Charlotte and to what you're seeing here in North Carolina, because we talked offline a little bit about our literacy rates. A bunch of our children and the National Association of Educational Progress, or whatever that is, just issued the national report card, and they said about 30% of the children are reading at a proficiency rate. I have the literacy report pulled up here, and I just, so folks at home could know what we're talking about. This is from the Health, Education, Labor, and Pension Senate Committee. 2/3 of America's 4th and 8th graders are not proficient in reading. 2/3 of America's 4th, 8th, and 8th graders are not proficient in reading. I wanna harp on this for a second, because I remember being in school, Omar, and the kids that couldn't read, that got embarrassed when the teacher called unto them, got angry. And they got, because it was an embarrassing experience. What do you, how is it safe for somebody in your line of work? Are we wrong for correlating these literacy rates with behavior? Do you think that's a major part of what we're seeing? Is that, these kids, is that it, or part of it?
It's more of trauma, because when you're in here and you hear what these kids are going through, it's unbelievable. You know what I mean? Me as a Purple Heart veteran saying that, I'm not easily shaken at all. But kids are getting real life abused. I'm talking about not even just like physically, the way parents are talking to these kids. You know what I mean? Like they're talking to them like they're adults. They're talking down to them. So they're coming to school. We say behavior, but that's what they're used to at home. So that's how they're treating other kids. You get what I'm saying? So it's hard to attribute specifically the literacy rate to behavior, but it does, play a huge factor in it, because these kids are shutting down. You know what I mean? They're like, I ain't going to try and do that. You know what I mean? Because they're sad and probably hungry and probably getting beaten at home, so Yeah, that's all I have.
I get it.
Yeah.
I
So I
get
mean,
it.
I always wondered, and I noticed this. We look back at this. We used to get breakfast in the morning. We might not have liked it, but we used to get breakfast. Now they're getting a bowl of chemicals,
yes.
a bowl of sugar, a Pop Tart. Like no one went on a I want to say it was like a pumpkin ride or something, and they tell you to pack your lunch, right? And one of the kids opened up his lunch. It was like a fruit roll up, not like they made a fruit anymore. It was like a juicy juice, a lollipop, and a bag of Doritos. So how is it you expect these children to function or focus when they got chemicals and sugar coursing through their veins at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, and they can't sit still? And they're
Right.
developing minds that impacted it, so I mean, it's really sad to see because there's so many children. I think it's borderline abuse personally, like to feed your kid that way. Like, why are you giving this kid a jelly donut at 7:30 in the morning on the way out the door? And then it's like, sit down, be quiet. I
Mhm.
can't. Like, I cannot.
Yeah.
He brings up a valid point, Omar. I want to point something out. Shouts out to Miss Carolyn. She mentioned this to your point, what you were mentioning. Three teens, where did it go? She said three teenagers in Houston attempted to kill their mom because she turned off the Wi-Fi, chased her into the street with a kitchen knife.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Hmm.
I,
Yeah.
I don't I can't imagine. Like, I just can't. So let's go here, Omar. So what do we do? I know you're working in the space. What are you doing to try to help here in Charlotte with ALP and other things? What do you got going on that's positive and that's trying to help?
Yeah. One of the things I just started is working with actually Charlotte Angels. It's mentoring for foster children, and I have a 16-year-old boy. Law, he's got some things going on with him. So that's what I've started. Also with ALP, my wife worked with ALP, tutoring first graders. That's what ALP does. Help focus on the third grade literacy rate. And I just went to the Charlotte Symphony with a fifth grade class. So I'm doing little odds and ends, things like that. I'll go up to my son's middle school and I'll help, here and there, tutoring English, math, science, overall mentor. So that's what I've been doing, just at the individual level, helping kids. I just want to save kid after kid. But now, I've got so much information. Now it's trying to broaden my horizon and try to get more information out. So
Got it. One of the things I think is important, and I'm so glad that you're doing that, because I think a lot, especially the young men, need to see veterans and people that have discipline and have had discipline instilled in them through that process, involved and engaged. So good on you for that. Ladies and gentlemen, we are talking with Omar Harris, education advocate down here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Make sure if you have a question, jump in the comment section. We got some Pennsylvania in the building. I see Richmond, Virginia's in the building. Enon, Virginia's in the building. Big shout out. We got some Greensboro, some Raleigh, and some Durham in the building. Shout out to everybody up there. I see Richmond again. Shouts out to Richmond. Well, let's do this before we take our last break and jump into the lightning round.
okay.
One of the things that's happening now is that the Trump administration is looking at streamlining what's going on with education, kind of returning things back to the state level so that we could have more centralized and local control of education. If you're able to get on the school board here in Charlotte, Mecklenburg, and you get the resources, the federal government just gives us the $2 billion. What do we do with that money to help improve the outcome for young people? What do you see as one of the things our school board can do to kind of use resources better?
Top two things is literacy and mental health. Like it's a mental health collapse. Like with these kids, they're all sad. I can tell you that. Even the kids that are making great grades and great houses, bad houses, white, black, Hispanic, their natural default is sad. They could have good days, you know what I mean? Good moments, but it's sad. So mental health is because these kids, they're smart. They can adjust. It's the adults, really. It's us. If we got them just help, you know what I mean? Like it could just be you. If you just went in there, during lunchtime and just talk to them for 15 minutes. It doesn't take much. Do you see what I'm saying? So
Mm.
literacy and mental health. Literacy and mental health. You do those two things, that's where we start. And paying teachers. We need teachers. We have 400 vacancies. Kids cannot learn without teachers. You can't do
CMS has 400 vacancies.
it. Yes. Yes.
And you got to consider something, Ali. Who wants to teach your kid when the kid might punch you in the face?
And
Like, who wants to do that? Like, especially you
dangerous.
see on TikTok and all these videos, and listen, it's sad, but I'm glad he said what he said about the mental health, because it all ties in to the parent and it ties into the
Mm.
environment. The music, the videos, the talk shows, all of this is designed to depress people. There is such a negative, I'll say, algorithm out there, right? Maybe not the right word, but it's just like a weight, like to the point where there was years ago, when we got here, we decided, you know what, we have to take the TV out of here. We had cable. You know, back in the day, you get cable, you got cable TV. Well, we had it for like 2 months, 3 months in the house, and it was just commercial after commercial and just violence and death, murder, kill. And we were like, you know what? Let's just take this out of the household, because I can't imagine every 15 minutes the news coming on, and now today the death and kill and murder. Like, why wouldn't these kids be sad? But I'm glad you said it, and I'm really, happy to hear that there's somebody advocating for those two things, because I think in our community, the Black and Latino community, mental health is almost taboo to discuss. It's almost like sexual abuse. It's taboo to discuss. And we need to talk about this. This is something that, people really genuinely need to be concerned about in our young people that we're going to leave this planet to and we're going to leave this country to. I mean, what does that say that, that's the observation, that the default is sad? It's terrifying.
No.
Absolutely. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take one last commercial break. We're going to
Wait,
come
before
back
we
with
do that,
Omar Harris.
Before you do that, we got a question for Omar.
Okay.
Yeah,
Has
read that one.
TikTok and other social media platforms been weaponized against America, and more importantly, America's youth? Great question. Shouts out to Lance. That's for you, Omar.
Oh, that's for me. I wouldn't weaponized against America. I wouldn't say weaponized, but it's definitely bringing us down, because they have access to, like, a 14-year-old can see someone get murdered across the world. You know what I mean? Like, they have just such open source. So, I mean, they're seeing things that their heart isn't ready for. You know what I mean? Like, the internet is aging their brains, but their hearts aren't. They haven't been through the things. You know what I mean? So, and also they're having access, like the youth, to adults, like 22-year-olds. You know what I mean? A 22-year-old talking to a 13-year-old, not even sexually, or talking like, that's still a problem. If it's not like your family member and there's no, you get what I'm saying? Like, and there's no,
totally.
There's no oversight. And it's like, oh, parents have oversight, but it's almost impossible. You know what I mean? And if you take it from these kids, it's really, the internet's like a drug. Like, not even like, it's really like a drug. You take it from these kids, they physically don't know what to do. You know what I mean? So it's.
I just saw a video today, Omar, of a little 2 or 3-year-old baby who was screaming bloody murder. And when the mom gave him the tablet, the kid was like, whip, whap, whip, whap, what? I'm talking about, kid can't read, but he was like, whip, whap, whip, whap, whap.
Ali, you know what's interesting? And before we go to break, I'll mention this. So, and you can just simply look this up for yourselves. The same biochemical reaction that people have when they're addicted to drugs is the same biochemical reaction these children are having. The brain looks like they're addicted. They addicted to whatever. Insert any substance you want. That pattern of addiction is what I think the brother was alluding to with the internet. And it's a fact. What he's saying is an absolute fact. It's scientifically proven that the dopamine, the whatever other hormones and chemicals, when you take that from them, that's what gets the kid running to go try to do something to their parent because the internet's off or they took the tablet. It's absolutely terrifying. Yeah, you're gonna go to break, bro?
Yeah, real quick, before we go to break, I want to add to Omar's answer about TikTok, and I'm going to take it a step further. You best believe, because there have been Senate hearings about this. If you watch any of the congressional hearings, what China allows its young people in China to see on TikTok is not what they allow American young people to see on TikTok. So I'm going to take it and say weaponized might not be the right word in so much as it is the right word because they are destroying through this app a good chunk of our young people's minds and not having them emotionally prepared. So it's the dopamine. Is that Dr. Jackson in there? Is that who I just saw in there?
No. That's the other homie. Shout out to Just For You. Shouts out to my brother K in the building. What's going
Okay,
on, sir?
indeed. So, look, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick commercial break, the last one of this episode. We got a lightning Rizzy coming up on the other side of this
Oh,
break.
y'all don't want to
go
miss this.
nowhere. Y'all don't want to miss this. Be right back.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Knock Realty. Knock Realty provides exceptional personal service, superior customer care, while giving back 25% or more of the revenue we earn from the sale of your home to be reinvested into the local community. At Knock Realty, we believe that your care and our community come first and will always be our highest priority. Receive the most personal service when buying or selling your home at a very competitive price while making a positive impact in your community. Knock Realty. Open the door to giving back.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back on the Urban Conservative Podcast. We're here with education advocate, good brother, combat veteran, former CMS, maybe future CMS school board candidate. We'll see that. We'll definitely be here to support you in that endeavor. Omar Harris. So before we give you the full screen to plug away, it is tradition around these parts. We're going to get into some of these comments after we'll do a couple of the comments after the lightning round and after he gets his plug. So tradition has it that there's a lightning round. You answer these questions as quickly as you possibly can. This will give the audience an opportunity to know you and humanize you a little bit more. Raheem's got the lightning round, which starts right around now. Let's go.
All right, here we go. Tall white tee or throwback jersey?
Throwback.
Timbs or Air Force Ones?
Air Force Ones.
Okay, we're going to keep it in the
Hold
2000s.
on. Variation on that. Go ahead. All white or black Air Force Ones?
All white, man.
Okay.
Thank you for saying that. All right, we're going to keep it in the 2000s real quick. Pele or Avarex?
Pele.
Okay, all right. Spinners or an iced out? Spinners on the rims or spinners on the iced out chain?
The rims. It was the rims.
It was the rims. Okay.
At the time.
All right. Do-rag under the fitted or just the do-rag?
Under. I don't like do-rags.
All right. That's way. Okay. You got you. No cap or word is born?
Oh, no cap.
Okay. All right. Lil Wayne mixtape era or Kanye's graduation era?
Damn, that's hard. God almighty.
Tough one there.
Wayne. I gotta go Lil Wayne. That's
okay.
All right.
I can dig it.
All right. Grinding in the middle of the dance floor or two-step on the wall?
Two-step. Married. You know what I mean? Come on.
All right. I got it. Sidekick or Blackberry? Did you have a sidekick or a Blackberry?
Blackberry in college, yeah.
Okay.
Had a Blackberry in college.
We got three left. Soldier Boys Crank That or them franchise boys Lean With It, Rock With It?
Come on, Soldier Boy, crank that. Come on. That's easy.
Okay.
All right. 106 in Park, Freestyle Friday, or Making the Band?
AJ and Free, 106 and 5.
Okay. You Got Served or Stomp the Yard?
When Chris Brown died, Stomp the Yard, man.
Okay. All right, last question. Phone posits or Air Max 95s?
Air Max.
Ding, 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 ding. Sir, you have won the lightning round. The floor is yours. Take the next 30 seconds to 1 minute. Let the people know what you got going on, how they can support you. Ali, make that man full screen.
All right, everybody. If you can go to alpcharlotte.org. They support early literacy. They've been in Charlotte for over 20 years, and they're probably one of the best nonprofits I've ever worked with. Like everybody with them, they care about the youth better than adults. Like everything they do is specifically for our youth. So please, if you can, please share alpcharlotte.org and donate whatever you can, however you can. And yeah, our youth definitely needs us, and we have to start somewhere. That's it.
All right. There you have it on your screen, ladies and gentlemen, alpcharlotte.org. See, they got a Give Now button up there in that top right corner. Get involved. It's all about the babies. You heard it from Brother Omar. We need your support to help.
Hey. You see what Lance said, right?
Sir.
You see what Lance said, right? Me and Omar used to crank that in the dorms.
Oh,
there you go.
Oh, that was my roommate in college. Yeah, best friend.
Yeah.
Shouts out.
What else
Shouts
you got
out.
there? Yeah. Drumline. All right, well, I'm gonna ask a couple of more of these just to the audience real quick before we get out of here. Y'all get in the comment section. The Wire or Entourage?
Oh, I gotta hear Omar's answer to that.
Yeah, go ahead.
The Wire or Entourage, Omar?
Oh, Wire, easy.
All right, well, I'll ask you the rest of them that I didn't ask you. Pimp My Ride or MTV Cribs?
Pimp My Ride. Yeah, at that time.
Really?
Okay.
Exhibit. He was hot.
Okay.
All right, Von Dutch trucker hat or Ed Hardy tee?
Ed Hardy.
Yeah, my guy. All right, velour sweatsuit or I don't know why this is on the list, but velour sweatsuit like Juicy or baby fat puffer coat. That must be for a woman, but either one. All right. All right.
Yeah, I'm going with the velour suit myself.
Hold on. I just try to keep it in the era. Look, burning CDs or downloading LimeWire playlist?
LimeWire. Me and my buddies were just talking about this the other day. It was no time like that.
Yo. So I'm going to date myself with this before we get out of here, Ali. I'll never forget this. And shouts out to the homie K and everybody over at Just For You. I'll never forget this. We had a DJ Just CD. It was the first CD I ever saw. And I remember everybody was like, what is that thing? We're supposed to, what do we even do with it? Like, I remember the day that we got the CD and it was like, well, what are we supposed to do with this? Like, yeah, it just brought me back.
Hey,
But,
look.
all right,
We got a LimeWire in the building, but also, before we go, a request, ask Omar about Australia.
Yeah, I did did a study abroad to Australia when I was in college. It's my buddy Charlie. That's where I met him during that study abroad. We went to Sydney, Cairns, up the East Coast, and we just had a good time. We were 19 years old, and the drinking age was 18 in Australia. So we were
oh boy.
Yeah. So it was just crazy.
And you remember the trip?
Yeah, we did go with school half the trip, So, but Charlie,
there you go.
Throw down. He's like one of those C-suite guys now, but he, like to throw down.
All right, so look. Let me get these last two out, Ali. Yeah, there's two more. T-Pain hooks or Nate Dogg hooks? Omar, T-Pain hooks or Nate Dogg hooks?
T-Pain, Teddy Pain.
Okay,
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Last but not least, 50 Cent's Get Rich or Die Trying or The Game's documentary? Which album? Oh, I think we lost him. Did we lose you?
I don't know. We got a frozen Omar. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen,
I think did we got him back?
No, I think he froze.
The lightning round. All right, there we go.
Well, look, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a blast kicking it with Omar. Baby girl, what's your name? Shouts out to Lance in the building. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, again, alpcharlotte.org is the organization. Support the brother Omar and what he's doing. Hopefully he's going to run for school board. We'll be here to have his back, have him back on the podcast when it comes around time for that. We're about the young people. So if there's any initiatives or things that you could think of or anybody you think we should have on the show to help them get the word out, let us know. TUcon.com is the website. Yes, sir.
Head over to our Facebook page. There's a post of AOC up there. The funniest comment. We're gonna announce the funniest comment this Friday on the weekly wrap up, and we will be buying the funniest comment a cup of coffee from the coffee place of their liking. So get on our Facebook page. That is at the Urban Conservative. Find that AOC post, funniest caption. Gets a free coffee on the Urban Conservative. We're good. Oh, we got
Hold on. We got action. We got action. Hold on. Let me get back to him here. All right, we lost you for a second. Raheem had a question for you. It was 50 Cent, Get Rich or Die Trying, or the Games documentary album. Which one?
50 Cent. Gotta go.
Okay, all right, cool.
Gotta go.
Cool.
Come on, y'all from New York too, so I gotta go East Coast.
Well, again,
right,
ladies and gentlemen, honestly, Omar, we're thankful for you spending the time with us here on the platform. We hope to have you back. Please let us know how we can continue to support you and what you're doing to help the Charlotte youth. You know we're connected at the hip. Ladies and gentlemen, for my twin brother Raheem, Architect Soto, my man Omar down there at the bottom, I'm Abdul Ali. This has been the Urban Conservative Podcast. Make sure you're with us Friday night for the